Sheboygan's Rock Station 106.5 The Buzz on the phone this afternoon. Smackdown coming to the Resch Center in Green Bay, July the 31st. It is WWE Women's U.S. Champion Tiffany Stratton. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. All right. Well, it is definitely Tiffy time. How did you become a wrestler of all things? I mean, take people through the journey who don't know.
So I originally was a gymnast, and I grew up doing gymnastics basically my entire life. And my family saw wrestling on the TV, kind of scrolling through the channels one night, and my mom saw Charlotte Flair, and she immediately told me, like, you should be doing that, Jess. That's totally something that you can do. And I told my mom, yeah, okay, whatever. And then eventually I quit gymnastics, and I decided to sign up for pro wrestling classes, and it was kind of in a sketchy part of Minneapolis, so I had my mom come with me to my first training session, and the rest is kind of history. Eventually my mom got in contact with Greg Gagne, and he coached me a little bit and helped me get a tryout, and the rest is history.
Now, being in Minnesota, it seems like there's just something in the water in Minnesota in that, great wrestlers do seem to come from the area.
Yeah. I'm really proud to be a Minnesotan. There's a lot of wrestling history in Minnesota. Like you've got like Ric Flair, you've got the Gagnes, Brock Lesnar, you've got Gable, Otis. There's so many people, especially active on the roster right now, that are from Minnesota. So it's really cool to be I think I'm the only female from Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a really cool title to have, I feel like.
So what kind of similarities are there between wrestling training and gymnastics training?
So for me, there is a lot of similarities, just because my moveset, my skill set that I do in the ring is a lot of what I used to do in gymnastics. So I've kind of just taken my background and just kind of plugged it into wrestling. And a lot of the foundation of wrestling is a lot of gymnastic skills. Like you need to be able to forward roll, to flip bump, and that all came very naturally because obviously my gymnastics background. And I feel like if you ask any former gymnast in wrestling, that they would say that gymnastics has given them such a leg up over everyone else, because it basically teaches you the foundation of wrestling, and you're able to, I feel like, learn quicker than a lot of other people.
Talking with Tiffany Stratton, U.S. champion. Now, of course, Smackdown in Green Bay on the 31st, followed by SummerSlam the night after up in Minneapolis, going to be in the 5-way ladder match for the interim women's title. Now, talk about that. You got a shot at the title in the big stadium in what's basically a hometown show. You feel like there's extra pressure with that, or?
Of course. It's my hometown. I hope they cheer for me. I hope they like me. But there's a lot of pressure, I think, going into this. However, I'm very well versed when it comes to ladder matches. I've been in 2, believe it or not, and I feel like I've had a relatively short career compared to everybody else. I've only been in the business for 5 years. But out of one of those ladder matches, I came out victorious, and I became Miss Money in the Bank. So I know how to win those kinds of matches, and I'm already the U.S. champion. So being able to walk in as already a champion is really cool, especially in my hometown. So hopefully I walk out with another title and get to call myself Tiffy 2 titles.
Walking out with the title would be good. Walking out not getting hurt, that also sounds like kind of a challenge obviously when it comes to ladder matches. So how do you go about protecting yourself in something like that?
You can't. I feel like with ladder matches, with those kinds of matches, you can't really protect yourself. You kind of just have to send it and kind of hope for the best. Obviously, I've had a couple of ladder matches, like I said, so I know kind of what it all entails. So, just staying safe and hoping everything goes smoothly.
Well, as always, don't get hit in the face. That's one of the keys there.
Not my moneymaker.
No, you are one of the faces of WWE right now. What's that kind of been like? I mean, as you get out in public and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I always did kind of all the media down in NXT, and I'm doing all the media now as the U.S. champion and a former WWE Women's champion. So it's really cool to see how far I've come in such a short amount of time. Obviously, kind of being one of the faces of the company, it comes with a price you have to pay, which is a lot of appearances and doing all the media and always on TV, which I am so grateful for. I love when I do. And obviously with that comes extra pressure. So I try not to let the pressure get to me, but I'm also one that delivers under pressure. I deliver under the most important moments. So I think I'm exactly where I'm meant to be.
Now, I gotta say, part of being a women's wrestler seems to be the gear that you guys wear out to the ring. Where do you get your gear from? Because you have some spectacular outfits out there.
Thank you. I take a lot of pride in my outfits and in my gear. So I have a couple different gear makers. I'm always trying to have a gear being made because I never like to wear the same gear twice. So I'm always trying to have gears being made and different concepts and different colorways. And I get a lot of my inspo from the 2000s, the early 2000s, like kind of Y2K, Mariah Carey with the butterfly top. So a lot of that goes into my gear.
Well, I mean, you look great out there in the ring. All right, talking with Tiffany Stratton again, Smackdown coming to the Resch Center in Green Bay, July 31st. If folks have never been to a WWE event, what would you tell them to expect coming to the show?
Well, I always tell somebody to bring a friend that is not a fan, because I guarantee you they will be leaving a fan, because there is nothing out there that is like experiencing a wrestling event live in person and getting to be with that crowd, getting to hear that crowd, getting to see the matches live. There is something for everybody. We've got so many different storylines, so many different characters. We've got Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. We have Liv Morgan versus Io Sky on the SummerSlam card. We've got the ladder match, obviously. So there's something for everybody. I'm super excited for SummerSlam. So get your tickets while they're still available.
When you're not in the ring, is there something you look at, something else going on right now in WWE that you look at and go, oh, I can't miss that. I got to be by the monitor. I got to be watching that.
Oh, yeah. I'm here for Oba versus Brock. I think that matchup is so awesome. They've both beaten each other, and I'm excited to see how the scores settle at SummerSlam. And Brock Lesnar is also a little hometown hero. He's also from Minneapolis, so I'm excited to see that match.
Absolutely, positively. All right, Tiffy, I got to ask you one more before we go, because I usually ask this of all of the wrestlers. Now, of course, WWE, video games have come out and stuff. What is the least realistic thing you have seen your character do in a video game?
That's a really good question. I have seen my character go into a dumpster on 2K. I don't think I would ever do that. That is not something Tiffany Stratton would do. That is not something I would say yes to. And if I did do a dumpster match, it would not be me going in that dumpster. It would be my opponent. So...
All right, we will keep that in mind. No dumpster matches for Tiffany Stratton. All right, going to be Tiffy time, Smackdown at the Resch Center in Green Bay, July the 31st, and then SummerSlam coming up the night after and the night after in Minneapolis. So if people want to follow you, what's the best way to do that?
You can follow me on Instagram at Tiffany WWE. I'm also very active on TikTok at Tiff Stratton WWE. So you guys can follow me there and keep up with me.
All right, the master of the prettiest moonsault ever, and I gotta say, it is one of the prettiest moonsaults ever.
Thank you.
Tiffany Stratton, thanks for taking the time today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And there we are, WWE superstar Tiffany Stratton, again, Smackdown, going to be at the Resch Center in Green Bay on July the 31st. Got details, of course, 1065thebuzz.com and the events calendar. Non-stop rock on the way.